I'm here with Doug Pratt at Bushes and Blooms. It's located right behind Prattscape on Campbell Street. We've been talking a lot about what flowers and plants to put in your lawn or garden to get it ready for the spring or summer season. So Doug today is going to talk to us about perennials and what is in season and what we should put in our garden, correct?
Absolutely.
All right, so tell me what is around us? What is in season right now?
Okay, currently where we're standing is in the perennials section of Bushes and Blooms, and they have a very large selection that is expanded depending on what's available at that particular time. Like next to you is a plant called pinks. It comes in multiple colors, so the pink was the original color. They do have a white, it comes in a burgundy. The leaf is kind of a blue color, so when it's not blooming, you have kind of an interesting looking grass type of thing there. So you can get something when it's blooming and something when it's not blooming.
All right, and what's this?
This is Delphiniums, and this is something that a lot of people call it bachelor buttons, a lot of different names, and it comes in a wide variety. We've got white and pink, reds, just pink, purple and whites, different colors. So you can have the same plant that does very well in your area, but it looks completely different.
Now, would you suggest for someone to kind of stick to a color scheme or to whatever flower they desire, whatever color to go with?
A lot of times what happens is when you get into gardening, if you're true gardening, people like to give you plants. And so often if they give you a lot of plants, it's hard to keep to a color theme. So in that case, you might anticipate the gifts or the variety you would get. And so you just kind of put in whatever, and kind of flock it into whatever type of thing you would have. If you're planting yourself and it's somebody that only you is going to maintain as more of a formal garden, then typically people pick a color.
Okay. And what about, now what would be the benefit of putting something in like this plant?
These here are called blanket flowers, and these are something that's very low growing. They kind of spread, they kind of mound, so it's something you put in front of something that would be a little bit taller. They bloom several times throughout this summer. They got a yellow-orange type of look with a darker center. This one happens to be a little bit more red burgundy. That one's a little bit more yellow, but that would look really nice with like maybe over here hens and chicks. This is a burgundy type of plant. Stays always burgundy, so with that contrast.
Beside, behind.
Kind of together, because if you kind of set this one's shorter, then a little bit higher, and then you go to something pinks that are a little bit higher behind that. So you're building up the garden, or you can kind of spread it out in kind of an array.
All right, now what about these over here? These don't really look like a flower. Are they considered a flower?
They're actually considered an ornamental grass, and there's about 20 varieties. So you can get them from very short that are blue colored, and you can get striped. You can get ones called zebra grass. There's one called porcupine grass, snake grass, blood grass, every type of thing you can think of. And a lot of people will use these because they like what it looks like in the winter. And it's got a plume that blooms in the fall and stuff, so that's often pretty. They're fairly drought resistant because it's in the grass family.
Now, if you had to pick your favorite flower or perennial out of all of these, what would be your pick?
I really like pinks, and the reason I like pinks is because of the fact when there is no bloom on it, which is most perennials only bloom for a month. So when there is no bloom, you still have a really cool blue-looking plant that looks nice with burgundies and yellows and some of the other types of colors. But there's probably 200 or 300 types of perennials that would grow in our area.
Oh, wow. Now something that's very tall, like these, what would these be considered over here?
These are shrubs, and these are something that you would put in the back, to have something to kind of hide a foundation or something, and then you put your perennials and stuff in front of that. This is more lower growing and more, more flowery looking.
Okay, and over here? This one kind of looks like a grass.
And it is a form of grass type, but this is called lavender. You have where you put like lavender in your dresser drawers or that kind of thing.
Yeah, I believe you had said on another segment we did that animals won't like that because it's very potent, right?
Absolutely, great memory. Yeah, lavender is something that you put in a lot of times because it's so fragrant to us, which we enjoy that, but deer and rabbit are very sensitive, their noses are, so a lot of times they don't go for something like this.
So if you just put, one little spot of this in your garden, would it keep them away from most of the plants?
Pretty much. If you had like a 20-feet garden, you might want to put 2 or 3 of them down. But yeah, it really helps in that. There's another one called chives, which chives like we as humans eat, right? Well, that's very fragrant. It's got a little purple flower on it too. And that's another one because of the fragrance that people don't like. And we can actually eat it. You can actually cut it up and put it in some of the stuff you cook with.
And now I see some of them aren't quite blooming yet. Is that because they will bloom later in the season?
Right. The one right here to the left of you is sedum. And sedum is a fall bloomer. That will about triple in size, and it gets a really nice pink flower. And then they come in pink and white, different colors as well. But sedum is a fall stuff that you put in a lot of times made with like mums or different types of things. So you have a fall flowering in multiple different colors and multiple sizes and leaves and stuff like that.
And would you plant it around now so that way after the flowers that are done blooming now, this would be next?
Yep. So you just kind of stage it by months of when they bloom each month, and then you just have it, continuously growing.
I'm soon going to be a professional gardener.
You sure are, and I'll get you a part-time job.
All right, well, thanks for joining us here at Bushes and Blooms. If you want to learn about shrubs and where to plant those and when they will bloom, tune in next Wednesday, and Doug Pratt and I will explore shrubs.